starting our big trip. November 3rd, I believe. Yeah, November 3rd, 2023. Yes, I know my truck's dirty. Got real slimy the last few days. I'll clean it when I get back. We're ready to go. Okay, does it do it now? We'll roll back and forth a little bit. That happens sometimes just normally. You're in neutral now.
I don't know if this is a good idea.
Well, we can loosen it a little bit each time if you don't think you can do it. And I've got the other levers. Push it forward and then roll it.
This was foreshadowing. I did not know there really was a problem with her clutch. We had put new levers on her bike and we figured it was just an adjustment issue. But boy, was I wrong. I wish I had known there was a problem with the clutch before we started. I stupidly didn't have any concept of how long a clutch should last. She was about 25,000 miles. I didn't know. I should have known. So anyway, we went on a trip, had a good time. She was saying that her bike wasn't running correctly and she couldn't, took her a while to get up to speed on certain levels and, certain parts of the highway. So I started thinking we probably do have a problem with the clutch, but by that time we're 1,200 miles from home. So we went ahead and did the trip, came back, and about Hearn, Texas, next to last day, her clutch went out. Had just enough pull to get off the road and get into the Holiday Inn Express out there, and we got her set up for the night. And I drove the 6 hours back straight home, got the trailer prepped, everything ready to go, and left the next morning at 4 a.m. to get back there and get her. And then, of course, we drove back again. So that's 18 hours of trailering, or 18 hours of running right there at the end just to get us back home. Had a great time anyway. We had a lot of fun, a lot of memories. We had some stuff that wasn't so fun, like the rain. But it was overall a good trip, and I'm hoping there's no real damage, like her clutch plates did completely disintegrate and go up into the motor. Motor seems to be fine, but I won't know that till I get it up on the table and start digging into it. But anyway, this it was us getting ready to start, and it was actually the problem we could have done without. But at any rate, we still had a good trip and still a lot of great memories. Well, we're finally getting into Jefferson. We're listening to the GPS trying to tell us how to get to the hotel, and I don't know. I don't know what happened, but they kept saying like left turn, left turn, left turn. You don't do too many of those before you're back where you started. So we start going down the roads looking for the hotel. Never been here before, so really didn't have a clue where it was. And they didn't have a sign. I expected a sign to be hanging out the front of the hotel. Like you see these signs on the right hanging underneath the little roof there, and they're saying what the store is. I expected something like that, and we didn't see it. What was odd, though, as I'll show you here in a minute, we drove right past the side of the hotel that had a big mural painted on it saying the Con Hotel. Well, it's really faded. I knew there was something there. Couldn't read the Con Hotel. She didn't either. And we must have gone around, I don't know how many times we went around the block until finally we got to the front of this one store just across from it and stopped, and I looked back over my shoulder and happened to see the Con Hotel etched on the glass of the door. So then we knew where to go. We finally got to the hotel. Got to see quite a bit of downtown while we were looking for it. But it's right across from the Jefferson Hotel as well, which is clearly labeled and has a whole bunch of stuff all over the outside. Apparently on the inside too, a bunch of suits of armor and all that junk on the Jefferson. Jefferson, however, one required a 2-night stay, and the con only let us have 1 night stay, and we were only there 1 day, so we went with the con. Both hotels are supposed to be super haunted, as you saw. As you'll see here in a second, we did a little bit of ghost hunting. We'll probably do a separate video on the big part of what we tried to do. I don't know. You'll see from the video what you think. But that's one of the reasons we wanted to stay at the con. It's an old saloon. It's supposed to be really haunted, and we actually stayed in room 103, which we watched somebody else do a video on ghost hunting in the con a few years back, and they seemed to get a lot of activity. So we were actually in a room we had seen on a video before, so that was kind of neat. So you'll see. I'll probably do a separate video on the actual ghost hunting. Right now, we're just trying to find the hotel and get checked in. We didn't know it at the time, but that building immediately to our left, out of frame to the left, was the con. That one you see on the left corner in front of us to 45 degree to the left is the Jefferson.
We're looking at the Jefferson right to your left.
See it? So we were right by it again, and we're still looking for it. We eventually find it. It's a couple of minutes, but it was just kind of hilarious. We just kept around and around and around and around. We were around it most of the time.
Go to the right, go down one of those streets and come back. There's some sort of house behind you. And there might be something down there. Just pull up there and take a ride. I don't know what that place is. Something on it. Well, here we are at the Con Hotel. After driving left, trying to find it, we finally saw a picture sign on the door. We looked all around it and couldn't find it. I guess you just go in.
Well, we got here about 4, close to 4 in the afternoon. Decided to go out and look around, see what the town was like, and then maybe look for some place to eat for later on. So what I did is I set up a camera in the room. We have a meter there that checks the electrical interference in the room, and you can see the thing's pegging. This is while we're gone walking around. That little ball on the bed too, if something entity touches it or whatever, it's supposed to light up. So what I did is I set up a camera in there to watch and see if anything happens while we're gone. Now, we were really kind of alarmed by the amount of electrical interference going on in the room. Supposedly that shows ghosts. I really don't know. And that was odd too. When I was reviewing the video later, that sounds like a GoPro, one of my GoPros either shutting down or starting up. As far as I know, all my GoPros were turned off and or out of battery, and they weren't near the camera either. So I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see any video later, like my camera turned back on. It's possible I could have just forgotten it and it just shut down when the battery ran out, maybe. I don't know. That was odd. Nothing much else happened during the day while we were gone, except that you can see that that meter is all the way over to the right and pegging at the highest setting. So a lot of ghost hunters use that as a method of finding ghosts. I don't know. At this point, I was worried we were going to get cooked while we were in bed because all the electrical interference. However, later on in the night, when they turned off the coffee shop and stuff they have in the lobby, it seemed to drop down to the way left to the greens. We didn't see a whole bunch of this interference, so maybe they have some unshielded equipment in there. Of course, that was 2 rooms away, so it seems odd that it would do that. But I mean, when the whole time we were in here, right after we got there in the middle of the day, it was just spiked, as you can see right there on the meter. Nothing else seemed to occur while we were there during the day, as you can see. Again, I don't know what that means. They're just like a bunch of unshielded wiring. I don't know. But when we went around the room in different places, and it would go down to what would be considered normal. But during the day, while we were out walking, after we got there and set this up and went out to walk around and look for a place to eat, I just left the camcorder running. You can see that thing is just pegging. However, I've not seen anything else happen, and the only anomaly, I guess you would call it, would be the sound of my GoPro either starting up or stopping. That was strange. As far as I knew, all the batteries and the ones I used were dead, and the other ones weren't even turned on. They were stacked on a counter over near the front door, so that was kind of strange. Later on in some of the video, you can hear people going up and down the hallways and stuff. It's not a very quiet hotel. It's an older hotel. But other than that, during the day, that was about it. It's just, again, the VMF is just high, really high in that room at that time of day for some reason. You can see it's still pegging all the way to the right on the meter. We'll do a separate video of what we tried later that night. Again, we're not ghost hunting experts. We just kind of trying stuff that we seen other people do. But we'll show that in a separate video and try to keep this one a little short. Thank you for watching.